under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
Jimmy, this is empty out free. I'm just chilling, Jimmy Star, sitting down and designing. Why every man in my thinking? What are we gonna be wearing? Yo, I'm a Liverpool MC. You can't test me. Big up the girls inside the party. Let's get down to crazy Jimmy. Big up myself and known as Alfie, the one and only, the Turkish MC. Always love the close Jimmy. Yo, wanna be.
What happened?
Oh, we lost the end of the song. Are we on?
You guys are live.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Sorry about that. We didn't hear the end of the song. Welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, bringing you the good times in music, fashion, pop culture, and entertainment. Okay, lower under my chin.
That fucking voice.
Ron and I and Brandy are here today. We got a fun show for you guys. Before we get started, let's make the rounds and say hi to everybody, starting off with my cool, outrageous man about town co-host, Mr. Ron Russell.
Between Jimmy and that broad that keeps coming in and out of our show, that horrific, squeaky, high-pitched voice broad, I'm going deaf. I suggested to her to get a boyfriend with 10.5-inch wangola and give him head. That might correct her voice and make it deeper. Well, our guy in Philadelphia said that's an impaler, and nobody with a 10.5-inch. Anyway, so Jimmy said they should make a porno movie called.
Actually, Scott said that.
Scott said that 10 inches is the
no,
impaler.
Vlad the Impaler.
Oh, right. Who?
Vlad. That's like
Vlad the Impaler. Anyway, dirty, filthy talk before we go on the air, and I don't approve of it, and I don't like it.
And you instigated all of it.
And I think that our show has got to
clean
clean
your
up.
Mouth.
I'm soft spoken, so I don't pop. See, I don't do that. You do that. I'm theater trained.
Okay.
I'm in the business 58 years. I held a microphone in my hands for 45 years when I did stand-up comedy in nightclubs. So I know how to work my mic in and out. When I need to get a joke, when I need to get a laugh, I know how to move my mic.
There you go. So let's say hi to everybody. Starting off with
who?
Our fabulous female Chanteuse.
Oh no, here she comes
at the W4CY studios. Hello, Danielle D.
Hello.
Oh my God, that was very good.
She's learning. She's learning to sound like a woman, not like a police siren.
That was awesome.
I love it. Listen, you get any dates lately?
No.
I put a word out. I said that, she's a hot piece of ass and she's looking for a hot date. I thought they would call you by now.
They got to find her on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like, look her up. Look Danielle up on Facebook and contact her. She's desperate for a man.
No, she's not desperate.
This is how. Listen, men today are very, very insecure. I learned that from my daughters. My daughter Leslie is beautiful. First runner-up in Miss America, Miss New York, Miss Long Island, Power's top model, gorgeous Grace Kelly look-alike, and she goes out and guys do not come over to her. Why? Because they're intimidated and afraid. They figure a gorgeous chick like that's not going to want to talk to me. So that's what they do with Danielle. Danielle's got to, be Ava Gardner, lower that voice and say, "Hi, boys. My name is Danielle, and I would like to see you this evening around 8 o'clock by candlelight and some champagne." And you see how fast the guys get erect and they'll be there. That's what you got to do. Today you got to encourage men. So everybody out there that's an old maid, these broads that go out and they can't get a date if they open their legs and sang Merry Christmas.
There you go.
But anyway, you have to make the first move.
Yeah, you have to make the first move.
Men today don't have balls anymore. Women have taken them off. Men are terrified of women. They're terrified to go on a date because she may scream rape. I'm not kidding you. This is the truth. So girls that are looking for boys, you have got to go after the men. The roles have reversed. Years ago, men pursued women. Now women pursue men. Well, there was a saying years ago, a girl chases a man until he catches her. Not today. Today, a girl's got to go after the guy. So learn from me, Danielle, and go out.
There you go. All right, are you okay with that, Danielle?
Oh, she's such an old maid, frustrated bitch. I can't deal with her.
am an old maid. I make that joke all the time that I'm an old maid, but yeah, I'm okay with it.
No. One day you're
She's
going to be
young and gorgeous.
One day you're going to be 85 years old in a rocking chair with a cat and a canary, and you're going to look back at your life and say, "Wow, all the men I missed because I was shy."
She's not shy.
That's definitely the polar opposite. I'm a very outgoing person.
Well, next week I want to hear all about your outgoing and your incoming. I want to hear about your outgoing and your incoming. So there you go, sweetie pie. People think I don't like you, but it's opposite. I think you're adorable. I just like to tease the hell out of you.
Kisses.
Kisses to you, my sweet puppy.
So then we've got in Pennsylvania, which it might be snowing. We want to give a shout out. What's up, Scott from Rock Titan TV? How you doing?
Hey guys, it is actually quite beautiful outside right now.
Is it really? We're like 80.
Yeah, well, it's 50, but it's nice. You know, it's springtime now. We set the clocks ahead and lost an hour of sleep over the weekend, and I know it screwed me up. I don't know about you.
Oh, it's totally. I'm still screwed up from it, and I'm still tired from it.
I drank so much wine, I didn't know where the hell I was, so time meant nothing to me.
That's fine.
It's true. I walked. We went to so many parties. I mean, I'm exhausted. Notice my energy level is not high because I slept until 8:30, which is unusual for me, and I'm just tired of talking because, you know, people ask me, like, we went to a birthday party for our friend Tony, and there was a gal there from Michigan who couldn't wait to meet me. She carried on, I've been dying to meet you. Tell me stories. She wanted to know about Jane Russell, Betty Davis, all of my friends, and I was going on and on and on and on all night long. This bitch didn't leave me alone. But she did say I was gorgeous, so that made me a little happy. I figured for that she's worth another 2 stories. But anyway, it's been a talky. Seeing my voice is even rough.
Hey, Ron, stop talking for a second.
Stop talking for a second.
Oh, it's him. I thought you were like Gone with the Wind.
Yeah. Listen, you
What?
need to stop picking on D.
No, I will never.
Listen.
What?
You're really freaking mean to her, and I won't.
Oh, I'm not mean to her. That's love. Don't you understand that?
Listen,
if I don't like someone,
Florida, she's not a New Yorker.
Can we get rid of this whole redneck persona? I'm not a redneck, like, for one.
No, she and I have the best fun together. Our fans love it. They love the back and forth because everybody on television is full of shit. I love you. You're wonderful. You're fabulous. You're divine. I adore you. I vomit from these people. They're all over Palm Springs. They're all over Hollywood. I am so sick of today's bullshit. Everybody's afraid to be offended. Every fucking thing you say, oh, that offends me. That offends me. You know, go fuck yourself. You offend me. People in general. I like her, and she knows that.
You're offending me. Watch your mouth.
I agree with Rhonda.
Fuck you, Dean. Fuck you twice, Dean.
No, do the F word. Don't do the F word.
No F word. So, chuck you. Chuck you, Dean. Chuck you.
Dean, by the way, we're so happy to see you up and about.
Yes, and I'm going to get you next, Dean. I have an expression that my mother taught me. Beware of my indifference. If I tease you, I love you. And that's the truth. If I don't like someone, I ignore them. They're dead. So how do you feel? How do you feel now? Give us some real shit. I understand you weren't well mentally, but that we knew, but physically.
Well, that's never going to be fixed, but that's how people like you.
Oh,
but how are you? Seriously. I'm talking serious.
The fact that the U.S. healthcare system is the worst, most preposterous thing in the universe. You know, I got off in L.A. and I was having chest pain, and I knew it had nothing to do with my heart, but I went to be safe to the emergency room. They wanted to take me down right away for another angiogram, and I refused it. And they were wrong. They thought I was having a heart attack, and they were just idiots. And now the insurance company won't cover it because they're idiots.
Well, you went to L.A. and probably it used to have the best hospitals. UCLA and St. Joseph's was 2 of the best hospitals in the country. But now I understand the emergency room is filled with illegal aliens and all kinds of people that shouldn't be there, that didn't pay taxes or have no right to be there, are there. And the people that work in those hospitals are just plain old disgusted. So a lot of the good nurses and doctors have left. most have come to Palm Springs because Palm Springs is still civilized. But LA is no longer civilized.
Around all the emergencies in LA.
You don't go to LA to go to a hospital.
What did you say, Dean? Say that again.
It's Dean News.
I said that's why Trump wants to build a wall around all the emergency rooms in LA.
AKA.
Well, you know the old joke, Trump builds a wall, Mexico builds a staircase.
Yeah, no,
I love that one.
Underground Railroad.
Well,
Duh.
the Mexicans are underground in the tunnels are going to get a headache from all the noise of building the wall above them.
Exactly, or the walls may cave in from when the earth gives
You guys,
way.
this is terrible.
But anyway,
conversation.
I don't do politics because I don't believe in anybody or any politic. I think every government in every country is full of shit, and they're all out for their own selves, and that's what it's all about. We may need one day somebody to come into office that's truly honest and truly wants diversity and
Who's
truly
that gonna be, though?
well, there will be someone somewhere because it's got to be. Otherwise, America is destined to doom. I mean, this man in office now has promised the moon and has delivered. Well, I don't know what you tell me.
Cheese, moldy cheese.
Moldy cheese. And we are happy to hear that you're up and everything is good, Dean. You sound terrific.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I came back to the office here to an envelope from the insurance company saying, yeah, they admitted you for having a heart attack, but since you didn't have a heart attack, we're not paying.
That's bullshit, Dean.
No,
Your insurance should cover any kind of medical.
Thank you. Our U.S. healthcare system and the insurance.
What is that? Your Social Security? What's it called?
Blue Cross
He's got health insurance.
That's
Blue
Blue
Cross. Oh,
Shield.
that's the biggest pile of shit in the world. Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Nobody has those crooks.
Everybody has.
No, they've been stealing for years from the public. Are you crazy? Blue Shield, whatever.
Still.
No. No, I have a very good insurance plan. The United States government doesn't want to handle anybody that's my age. So they give $1,000 a month to this insurance company, and this insurance company handles all of your things. I will have Jimmy text it to you.
He's not old enough to get it.
How old are you? How old are you?
Still alive, Ron.
That is so messed up.
No, but how old? Are you over 65?
No.
Not over 65. He's like 40.
But he looks over 65.
No, he doesn't.
I thought he was about 83 or 84.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I didn't know that. No, seriously, Dean, all kidding around.
You think you looked like you're in your 40s, Ron, but your personality shows more like 90.
It's true. It's true. I'm an old goat. I go by the old standard rules. I don't live in today's rude, inconsiderate, self-centered, narcissistic world. I still live in the world of how do you do, may I open the door for you?
You're king of it. You are the narcissistic world.
No, I am not. I'm the furthest thing from narcissistic. Come on. I would have had facelifts, fillers, and Botox like the rest of the morons. I don't do any of that shit. Nature takes it.
Dean, what color is your hair now?
Blue.
Blue.
Is it really? It looks black.
Yeah, it's weird though. Like
Yeah.
if you notice, if I turn angles to the light, it changes colors. It's like a pearl.
You're like Eileen Shapiro.
It is blue and black, but in certain lighting it looks blue, and in certain lighting it looks black.
Is it your whole head?
So
Yeah,
it really confuses you when you go out because you don't know what color eyeshadow to wear.
well, I usually go with the red.
There you go. Hey, everybody, too, if you're
Hey,
tuning
Dean,
in and you
wait,
hang on,
hang
if you
on a
want,
second.
if you want to like see us, hit the ITV button at the top of the W4CY website, and you can actually see us, and you'll see our guest who we're getting ready to call in just a minute.
And Dean, all kidding aside, this is straight to the shoulder from a Brooklyn guy. I am so happy that we heard you today because I was concerned about you, and I asked Jimmy several times, what's going on with him? How come we don't know what's going on? Did he have a heart attack? Nobody knew. Now, I'm glad you set that record straight, and I'm happy that you're talking and you're
I had
back.
one last month, but not this month.
Okay. Don't have any more. They're boring.
Yeah, don't have any
They're
more.
very boring conversation, so don't have any more.
Yeah, I don't like them either.
Yeah, I bet you don't.
Listen, when you come out to L.A., let me know. Come to Palm Springs. I'll make dinner for you. We'll sit and schmooze.
Sounds good. I just left there, but I'll be back.
You left here without calling us, you prick?
He was in L.A.
Hospital,
What?
one part.
You were here and you didn't
He
call
was in
us?
L.A., not Palm
Well,
Springs.
L.A. is not the moon. It's only an hour away.
But-
Hour and a
Hour and a
half.
half, 2
I don't-
hours away.
And went to the hospital and got released from the hospital and went to the festival I had to do and then came home.
If you were in the hospital in L.A., we would have come to visit you. I would have brought you a cyanide tablet in case. You just bite on it, and you're gone, and then your insurance company would have to pay for your funeral.
Taking that tablet.
He's taking that. All right, you guys, we gotta get get going with our guest.
Good news that you're on. Thank you, baby.
Yeah, glad you're doing well.
And I really love D. I mean, people out there know I tease.
Joking.
Yeah, because I love her. She's a cutie pie. If I didn't like her, I would ignore her. You know that.
Have a great show, guys. And if you beat up on me again, I'm gonna have you taken out.
Oh, that's okay. We have 2 other offers. Bravo's interested. I'm serious.
Yeah,
he thinks we're kidding. I'm not kidding. Listen to me.
We have to go.
I got to tell him this. We were offered a major television network, and I turned them down, Jimmy and I. You know why? They said we could no longer be on W4CY. They wanted us exclusively. And I looked at Jimmy and I said, Dean has been fucking damn good to us. For 9 years, Jimmy, we ain't no way ever going to abandon Dean. We may do another show on a major network, but we're still going to do W4CY. We will never leave you ever until I croak.
I'm happy that you're loyal to us and you
I am loyal. I swear my mother. I don't pull shit. You know that.
W4CY is the greatest network, and everybody who's got a show should be here.
Exactly. And we're so happy and so comfortable on it. Everybody that's got talent, not you assholes that want to be movie stars, but people that truly have talent, go. Contact Dean and come on our network.
We love the Jimmy Star Show, despite the fact that you're on it, Ron.
No, it's a Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, or I quit.
Okay, the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, or I quit.
That's it. That's the title.
Anyway, you guys, we got to go because we got a guest who's waiting. We got to get our guest on.
Go. Good talking,
So
Dean.
everybody, Dean, thank you, and I'm glad you're doing well. And Dee and Scott, you guys ready? We're going to play Lethal Injection, and in doing so, then we'll call Kirk Taylor and get him on the line. Are you guys ready to do that?
Yeah, just say, here's Lethal Injection, and name the song, and then as soon as you're done naming the song, I'll click play.
All right, how about you, Scott?
Works for me.
All right, everybody, here's Lethal Injection, The Fall.
Time feels like it's slipping away. There's only so much I can take before I lose it all and I'm back on the ground. I'm feeling the fall. I'm feeling the fall. You ever feel like you're by yourself, people around, but you're still by yourself? You can't grasp this moment in time. Show me a sign. The mountain's too tall to climb. I can't find the strength. There's so much poison and darkness running deep through my veins. Where do I turn to? Who do I turn to? Is this the end or a new chapter? Burn this bitch down and move on from this disaster. Life is worth living. Wish I could go back to the beginning. There's a bigger plan for you and I. Gotta take the hate and push it to the side. The hurt is too much to take. My body and soul riddled with all this pain. Time feels like it's slipping away, and there's only so much I can take before I lose it all and I'm back on the ground. I'm feeling the fall. I'm feeling the fall. Why did we slip away? What could have made us stay?
see the line.
Hey, you guys.
Loud on my end.
Hello, hello. We're back.
Hey, D, we got to work out something better where I can hear the end of the song.
It faded really fast. I didn't. It went very high and then went boom really fast. So I didn't.
There we go. So we didn't know. All right, everybody. Well, we're back, and that was Lethal Injection. The name of the song was The Fall, and we have our next guest on, which we're going to make sure we can hear him before we introduce him. Say something so everybody can hear you.
Oh, this is Kirk.
There
North
you
Hollywood,
go.
California. Can you see me? I can't hear you two that well.
Hello. Do you have your volume all the way
up?
up?
Put some headphones on like you guys have.
Do you have a headphones?
If it works, yeah.
Just a second.
All right, everybody. So while Kirk's going to get his headphones,
we could look at his mirror. It's
we can look at his mirror and all the
Deco
pictures.
Mirror. Around Art Deco.
What's the
mirror.
big metal thing in front of it?
It might be either a vibrator or a microphone. I don't know. A dildo. I don't know. A stereo. It could be anything.
I'm gonna have to tell you guys that we're back, like Chad used to do.
Okay, yes, we could have to do that then, because I didn't have any idea that the thing was over.
I think that's gonna be the best thing instead of you guys.
I'm just gonna have to listen while I can't find any headphones.
Up your volume on your
on your computer. Is it up?
It's actually on my phone.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're doing the phone thing. They suck, those phones. The computers are better.
Yeah, good picture though.
Yeah, he looks good. Anyway, everybody out there, you know who he is.
All right, everybody, so we can hear him. So we'll speak up. Everybody, now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, musician, composer, teacher, stage performer, and well-known actor Kirk Taylor. Hello and welcome to the show.
Hey, welcome. I'm so happy to be with you guys.
I got everything in there, right? I think I got all your different categories.
You got it all. You didn't get drag queen.
Oh, because he's not a drag queen. You are. Anyway, let me introduce you to everybody, starting off with my cool, outrageous man about town co-host, Mr. Ron Russell.
Hey, mean motherfucker.
Hey, Ron.
That's what you are. You're a tough guy. I know you scare people in films. Well, you're not such a big tough guy after all.
Actually, how tall are you?
6'1".
Yeah, he's a pretty big guy.
Tall guy. He can knock a few on there.
The day I met Charles Bronson on the set in London to shoot Death Wish 3, I asked him if I could take a picture with him, and he was like really gracious. He called me. He put his arm around me. We took the picture, and then he says, "Hey," Jill Ireland was there, and so he said, "Jill, come over here. I want you to meet Kirk Taylor. He's playing one of the heavies." I was like, wow. I'm a heavy.
Yeah, that's. I think out of all your films that you've played the heavy more times than ever playing an angel or a good husband.
He's playing he's playing the bad disciple or something. We're going to talk about that in a minute. We'll talk about that.
You're always the bad guy.
No, he's not always the bad guy.
When do we ever see him as a good guy?
Well, you haven't seen everything he's been in.
Well, I've seen enough.
I like The Last Dragon, but I like a lot of them. We're going to talk about it. But first, we've got our two producers.
By the way, you're good. Yeah, I like your work. You're good. You don't overkill it like some of people. They really, they just bring it to the max and it's so full of shit.
He's also an acting coach, so he knows how to do it.
Yeah, but he brings it in. He gives it to you in slow dose, and I like slow dose.
Me too.
I don't like a character that comes on like, "Hey man, I'm a bad guy." Don't do that. They gotta look and say, I have problems in my mind and I'm a bad guy. So you sort of float into it. I do that when I work. I never read lines like they just started. You know what I mean? I sort of pre-suggest and then do the line.
Yeah, the
directors don't like it.
No, but it's called playing the moment before, and it really can make the scene, instead of playing it like the whole idea is, I used to say to my students, I said, every entrance is an exit.
Absolutely.
Every exit is an entrance.
Absolutely.
You're coming from someplace, you're going someplace. So that's a great, you got a good eye.
And you got to sort of float it in and float it out. That's what I do. And directors don't like it because they say, where is that in the script? I said, it should be. And then they don't like me anymore.
That's not true.
No, directors like me. I had to change something. The last movie I just did, Circus Road, because the line was, I'm supposed to be like a closet gay minister. And the guy that was feeding the line said, well, you know how they are. And I said, we're not going to have that line in the movie. Because and he was Asian. I said, how would you like it if I said, well, you know how those Asians are? That to me is very disrespectful because what are they? You know what I mean? He said, you're right, Ron. What should we say? Say, I have an uncle who's like that. And that was nice because I was a nice minister. So that's what you got to do. Sometimes I don't have to tell you. You got to tell these directors, get off your fucking high hat and like get real.
Actually, he has a story he's going to tell us.
I want to hear
minute.
it now. I
He's going to
bullshitted
tell
my
us
way.
a good one, but hold on. First, we didn't finish introducing him. We want to say hi.
Everybody knows who he is.
We've got an engineer in Florida and another one in Philadelphia. So say hi to Scott and Dee.
Hey, Scott and Dee.
Hello. Welcome to the show.
Yes,
Meanwhile,
indeed.
she's looking at
Florida.
She's looking to get laid.
No, don't do that.
No, she is. Maybe he's interested.
She's married or
that don't matter. She's a cute little piece of trick.
I know, but she's also short and he's 6 foot tall. 6
I know,
foot one,
but that
so
doesn't listen.
a killer.
Listen. The inches is not in the height that counts.
Anyway, so you guys, this is Kirk Taylor. He's done a lot of things. One of the things I want to bring out first, because you've done a lot of stuff, and I've actually seen almost everything that you've done.
I've seen a lot of your work too.
But I'm a big. We had Matthew Modine on the show, and I'm a big Full Metal Jacket fan. I actually there's an audio. Like Matthew Modine did a book called Full Metal Jacket Diary, all about the making of the book, and the company that I work with actually released it and distributed it.
Oh wow!
And
you
so
never saw that?
It's a really cool.
I heard about him writing it, and of course, I know Matthew and I talked that before I left London. He started off. Him and his wife Carrie showed up in London. She got pregnant while she was in London. She had the baby.
By you or him?
Not by me. I left her alone.
Oh, okay.
and by the time they left, they had a 2-year-old child. That's how long he was in England. So he had a lot of material for the memoirs.
He is really a guy that impressed me. We've done 4,000, 5,000 interviews, and out of all of the interviews, Matthew is still one of my.
It was a good interview.
He's just an interesting guy. I mean, he really knows the biz.
And he's having a huge resurgence now. So tell me a little bit about your experience, though, being in Full Metal Jacket. Like, was that a cool thing for you? Because that's such a cult. You go on IMDb, it has something like 500 and something thousand like reviews or something. I mean, it's like a really big film.
Wow. It was. I actually, it's funny how I got the part. I was in England finishing up Death Wish 3 with Bronson, and I heard that Stanley Kubrick was casting. Now that was impossible, I thought, because he started the film 2 or 3 years ago. I had sent a tape in, and then they said, no, he's literally still casting. He's a micromanager. I said, okay. So I called up I got the number, and I called and did a British accent, and I said, we have an actor here. His name is Kirk Taylor. He's working with Mr. Bronson. Mr. Bronson loves him, and so will you. Please have him come in and audition for you for Full Metal Jacket. And they were like, okay. So I show up, and I get on, and Kubrick's not there, but Leon Vitali, his right-hand guy, is there. And Leon puts a camera on. I said, can I tell Mr. Kubrick a story? He's going to watch this. They said, yeah, go ahead. I said, Mr. Kubrick, it was show and tell in little Johnny's school, and it was little Johnny's turn to share something about his family. So the teacher said, little Johnny, tell us about your family. He said, yeah. All right, yeah, I had a brother, right, that went to Vietnam, and he got shot in the ass. And she said, oh, Johnny, no, we don't say that in school. We say rectum. He said rectum, nothing, it killed him. And that helped me get the job.
That was awesome, though.
Well, it stands out. Humor always goes places that serious shit doesn't, I find. Serious stuff people sort of hear with one ear, but humor they hear with both ears.
That's
Don't
really
you
true.
agree?
If you think about Full Metal Jacket was that. It's like a very serious subject, but there was all this irony, and he had Born to Kill on his helmet, and he also had a peace symbol, and just the questions. I mean, even think about the fact that they end the film. This is something I didn't catch until later, really understanding. They end the film with these 18-year-olds. I mean, they're kids, and they're singing the Mickey Mouse song, carrying their guns and fire burning in the background. They're singing Mickey Mouse. These are our children that we sent to war.
Absolutely.
The old guys make the decisions. The young guys pay with their butts.
Absolutely.
Well, the film had many messages, and you were very young. You were very young in that film. Yeah. And you did not have a mustache. I had a little bit of this, and it's a different mustache, but I kept it, and I had an afro because I talked to Kubrick. I had been in country for 3 years, and I was part of the Sea Tigers, the organization. I was like,
I had beads on. So I had something. I was trying to have a little 60s flavor in there.
I love it. So one thing.
Wait. How many films before that one?
Did I do?
Yeah.
Death Wish, Last Dragon, Street Walkin', Cotton Club. Like maybe five.
Who were you in the Cotton Club?
Well,
I saw that movie
Club,
a million times. I love that movie.
You're gonna remember me in a second.
When?
Okay, so I was hired to be a special ability extra, meaning they trained me as a waiter busboy, and I was supposed to clean dishes off the table when they said, and I was always trying to find the camera. I would always turn toward the camera.
That was your first one, right?
In a white jacket, turning to the camera anytime I had a chance. So I get an idea. James Remar is in a scene with Fred Gwynn. Remember Herman Munster?
Sure.
And James Remar was playing Dutch Schultz. And Fred Gwynn was playing Frenchie. And so I thought, man, they should have some champagne in this scene. And so I ran across the room. I snuck and I grabbed a champagne bucket and was getting ready to come back. And the two ADs grabbed me and they said, "What are you doing?" I said, I just thought it's a special occasion that should have some champagne. They said, "We don't pay you to think. We pay you to clean dishes off the table. Move back to one and we'll tell you when to go." And so basically I'm walking back and I'm dejected and I feel like such a fool, but I look and I can see Francis Ford Coppola right there. I mean, he's not far. I could get to him and I start running toward him. And the ADs start doing a beeline to try to catch me and they get to me just as I get to him, but I screamed, "Mr. Coppola." And he turned and they couldn't say anything now because he's looking at me. And I said, "Mr. Coppola, shouldn't there be champagne? Dutch Schultz should get champagne, compliments of the house, right?" And he said, "That man has a creative idea. Put him in the scene. Bring out a case of champagne and 5 ice buckets of champagne."
Wow.
So I literally still, and then I improvised the lines in because James Remar didn't know I was going to do it.
You and I are twins.
That's the shit he would do
Right?
too.
I do the same shit. I redo the whole film. I do what you do. We have balls. Lucky we don't get kicked off the picture. I mean, I've never been thrown off a picture yet, and I do my thing.
I haven't been thrown off yet too, but it's gotten close. But I mean,
Unlike you, I would have done what you did. It was sensational, improvising.
And I got my first line.
You made the scene richer.
And he got his first line. That was your first film too, right?
My very, very first speaking role. I had done Ragtime. James Cagney did Ragtime with Howard Rollins, and I was playing an Italian immigrant in there. And that one I had like a curled up mustache, a bowler hat. And I was like in the scene just looking at a dead horse. So that was my first time seeing myself. And it was weird because I was like, oh my gosh, that's me in the 1890s or whatever it was, turn of the century. So, but that was the Cotton Club was the first one. And James Remar did not know I was going to improvise that. So I said, "Excuse me, Mr. Schultz." He's like,
"Oh, I think you're outrageous. You and I have to team up. I mean, we have to change Hollywood because they really suck nowadays. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. I'm in the business 58 years because I'm 78 years old. So I've been in, my first movie was in 1959 with Sophia Loren and Tab Hunter. How do you like them apples? What a way to have a first movie. I played a soldier. And it took us 3 months to shoot that film. Tab Hunter had a day and a half of shooting for one scene where he's on the railroad station, picks up a duffel bag and yells, "Kelly, come on." We did that a day and a half. Years ago, they rehearsed. Also Sophia Loren, they used to wet down the concrete to make it look better. And Sophia was walking with Barbara Nichols and she slipped and fell and cut her knee. So we had to shut down while Sophia was being x-rayed and whatever. So today, I'm doing a movie now in a couple of weeks. What's our shoot schedule? 10 days?
11 days.
11 days. How the fuck do you shoot a movie in 11 days? I mean, Circus Road, I didn't even have a rehearsal. So I'm playing a minister. I'm about to marry these two people, and the guy gets crazy and he yells, "You fucking hooah. I know you're a hooah. You screwed my best friend." Well, I got so startled, I went, "Ooh." And they came over. They said, "Ron, we heard you do ooh in your mic." I said, "Well, I didn't know he was going to do it," and he scared me. So, I mean, today working in film, I'm sorry you weren't around in the 50s and 60s. You would have had a better go at it because it was more professional and it was just smoothly done. And, I mean, I worked an 18-hour day and I was dead. Years ago, I was younger also. You could work in 18. I mean, when I did television, we shot that pretty fast. But movies back then were done well and they looked well. today the movies that we're in don't look so good. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I think that there are certain technical things that they can do better than they used to. But in terms of the storytelling sensibility and good taste, sometimes taste really goes out of the window. You know, you don't need to show, you know, certain things. You can insinuate it. And a lot of the older films would insinuate it. And your mind went crazy thinking about what they're doing in the next room. Oh, my God, I bet it's good.
Yeah, instead of actually showing it.
They got to show the whole thing, man. They got to take you inside of it, make you taste it.
No, it's true. Love scenes or sex scenes back then, the ocean would appear or something. They had a way. They had a way of letting you know that they're fucking, but we're not talking about it. I find today there's no continuity in the script. They shoot scenes episodic. In other words, this scene and that scene, and then they edit it together. And when you see the film, you could actually see the abrupt stages of each thing. They need to learn to segue in and out of the story. They need to make the actors not read lines but act lines. I find that I do shitty horror films. I mean, I don't do good major films. So I mean,
actually, I have to say with him, because he's had a everybody too listening. So Kirk Taylor's had a really great career. He continues to have a great career. He's got a new movie that's really magnificent. But you haven't been in a lot of really crappy indie films. Like if you look at you have Full Metal Jacket.
That's a big credit.
Spike Lee, School Days.
Big credit.
The Bonfire of the Vanities. The Sum of All Fears. I mean, you got Ben Affleck, Morgan Freeman, all the people that are in the films that you did. These are all like superstars. The Last Dragon is a great movie. I absolutely love it.
You have major credits, and you work with major people.
He did a movie called Street Walking, which was probably his second or third movie with Leon, our friend Leon.
Oh, I love Leon. Yeah. Oh, I love Leon.
He's been on our show a bunch of times.
Leon is a
Julie Newmar, Randall Battenkoff, they've all been on our show.
Julie Newmar.
How about Melissa Leo?
Yeah, but she hasn't been on our show though. I always pick out the people that have been on our show.
I know Julie Newmar for the last 50 years. I know her. We're friends.
I mean, you did a movie, Jackknife, with Robert De Niro, Kathy Baker, and Ed Harris, The Return of Superfly, and even your television credits, you know, Law and Order, Chicago Hope, All My Children, NCIS LA, even indie films, because I think The Angriest Man in Brooklyn was probably an indie film, but it was James Earl Jones, Peter Dinklage, Robin Williams, Mila Kunis. I mean, you're talking about.
No, you're talking major.
You're like talking about like major. So you're not making $150,000 movies. You know, you're making like big budget movies.
And you're not getting 150 a day
or 100. Or 100. He would do them if the script was good. You would do a good indie film, right?
Well, I've done two really low budget. The first was a kind of a modified low budget. It was called MacArthur Park, and that was with Billy Wirth, Thomas Byrd.
Billy Wirth's been on our show. We just met him.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
we have everybody on our show. I
actually met him back in the day because I was really good friends with Brooke McCarter from the Lost Boys.
Let me tell you something. There are 450 million people watch us. 4.5 million watch us. We're in 27 countries throughout the world.
178 countries.
170. I got everything wrong. I'm fucked up. I'm old.
But actually, Billy Wirth, because our next guest after you is Harley Wallen, and he's done like 4. He's a director, writer, actor, and he did like 4 movies with Billy Wirth. What I want to tell you right now is, if you're pushing something, get it out there, because the world is listening. So go for We're gonna be talking about his movie Revival in a minute.
I want to see the Brooklyn one. I never saw that. Is it on Netflix or somewhere?
I'll tell you an interesting story about that. In this business, it's rain or pour.
Yes.
What is it? What's it saying?
Feast or famine.
Feast or famine. And so I was going through a little bit of a famine period. I wasn't working that much, and I woke up that morning and I looked at my wife. I said, "You got to pray for me." She said, "About what?" I said, "Well, pray that I don't feel I'm working enough. Maybe I made a mistake. This is not what I'm supposed to be doing full time. And pray that if it's God's will for me to continue to work in film and act, that he'll open the door for me. But if not, to make it clear, and I'll concentrate on my teaching." I had students like Chandra Wilson and Gary Dordan and Charles Malik Whitfield, Jose Zuniga. These people are working now. I said, "Well, I can go back to teaching." She said, "Okay." And so she prayed for me, got up, and I wasn't even out of the bed. Phone rings. "Kirk, hi, this is Martin from Central Artists." I said, "Oh, hey, man." He said, "Kirk, we were just contacted by a major motion picture. They want to know your availability next week." I almost fell down. And I wanted to say, "Let me check my schedule." But I decided to say, "Yes, I'm available."
Yeah, don't bullshit.
And within a week, I'm standing in front of Robin Williams and Mila Kunis wearing a New York cop uniform here in LA with a New York cop car, squad car next to me. And I'm looking up going, wow, okay. I guess that's pretty clear. I guess I'm supposed to continue to do this. And it was with Phil Robinson. Do you ever see Field of Dreams or Sneakers?
Yeah. Yes. I love Sneakers.
He directed Some Fall Fears as well, which I was in. He's just a lovely man. Field of Dreams is one of my you guys have seen that one too, right?
Yes.
Yes.
That's Kevin Costner, right? That's Kevin Costner in baseball.
Angel Jones.
Yeah.
I want to go into another topic. What's your ethnic background?
Okay. So coming up, my parents are African American, but my mom is lighter than me. My dad's darker than me. And we just don't look like everybody else. And I asked my dad when I was 12, I was having a little bit of an identity crisis. I was like, I don't look like anybody in the neighborhood. I said, Daddy, why don't we look like everybody else? He says, well, he said, besides the African blood that we have on both sides, we all have 4 or 5 tribes of American Indian. He said, we also have French on my side. We have Irish on your mother's side and my side. And we have English on our side. So he's running down this list. And then he says, oh, and we have a rabbi in the family. I was like,
yeah, that's cool. But anyway, now the point I'm making with your ethnic background is the period that you had FAMA, blacks were not that accepted in movies. They were token guests, okay, in film. So are people my age. That's why I was not working for many years. Over the hill, over 50, over 60. Now this fucker's over 70. He can't even remember lines or breathe. So, you didn't get work. I have 5 pictures to do in a row. 5. Why? Because now SAG said we have to hire.
They didn't say it. They just get a deal. They did it. They get a better
We
rate.
have to now have over 75-year-old actors. And the same thing with diversity. Now we have Hispanic, we have Black, we have Indian, we have Asian, we have all kinds of people now in film because of diversity. And I think it's about time, and it's wonderful because there are last night we went to see Medea, who I love. I mean, I'm crazy about Medea's funeral. Now, the woman that played the mother went into a soliloquy about her husband, who she hated because he was a cheater and banged every woman he could. Her performance was so brilliant. I think she should be nominated for an Academy Award. When you go see the film Medea, listen to when the mother talks about what her marriage was really like to her husband as she tells her sons.
It was fabulous.
The film, I
do you like Medea? Wait. Do you like Medea? Do you know who Medea is?
Yeah, because I was out on his shows were what they called part of the Chitlin circuit at one point before he hit big time.
Yeah,
and the Chitlin circuit is a circuit of theaters that cross the country where you can go do these kind of gospel-y shows. And we were out on the road with a show called What Men Don't Tell with a host of people. Kathy Sledge from Sister Sledge.
Oh! She was our very first TV guest when we turned.
Are you serious?
I love Kathy. Kathy's my sweetheart. I love her. She's my darling person.
When we went from radio to TV, she was our very first guest.
I love Kathy Sledge.
Wow. And she is
her.
So lovely, right?
Yeah, fabulous.
She is probably
you're winning all kinds of brownie points here because we love her.
Kathy Sledge is like my favorite person. She was coming to our house because she lived in the next town when we were in Pennsylvania, and she was coming to my house with her hubby for dinner, and she said, do you mind if I bring
Patti LaBelle?
Patti LaBelle. I dropped dead in the spot. I said, are you out of your fucking mind, Kathy? Patti LaBelle? I wouldn't be able to cook or do anything. I just make that bitch sing all night. I love Patti LaBelle. Well, of course, it never happened, but I love Patti LaBelle. No, we moved, and I must tell the audience out there, Kathy Sledge, I am so sorry for you that you have never been graced with her lovely personality. She is probably one of the nicest people I've ever interviewed, and I interviewed her, and no, I want to go back east just to see Kathy one day. I'm serious. Don't you love her?
She's fabulous.
Didn't you love her?
We were out on the road with each other for like maybe 3 months, and I really love that girl. She's just the sweetest, so talented. Yes. And we just had we had a great cast: Shantae Moore, Kenny Lattimore, Lenny Williams from the old the Tower of Power group. Remember Tower of Power?
No, absolutely.
Sure. We were out on the road the same time as Medea, and they said, make sure that she has not played within 2 weeks wherever we go, because she would be selling out and she would drain the money out of the community. So nobody had money for tickets for us. So we always skipped any cities that she had been in.
But she's a character. The character that she's not doing it anymore. That's the last Medea, and I'm upset about it. The last one. Yeah, they're not doing it anymore. The storyline was adorable, cute. It showed black culture of today. Beautiful black people, gorgeous men. The one guy was gorgeous, and the beautiful women in a beautiful home, beautifully decorated,
it was very funny.
which I enjoyed seeing. This is the black culture of today. And then they had the three old ladies come in that were the black culture of yesteryear, and they were
that's Medea and her two friends.
You could actually see how black people have grown in society. You know what I mean? Which I liked. I liked the idea that they didn't show them, yes, I'm a coming, ma'am. You know, that shit. They got rid of that. So now it showed black people equal to all the middle-class white people, and I enjoyed that. But the three old ladies in Medea, they had the old lady thinking. I mean, funny. The writers, I just...
Tyler Perry writes it.
Who?
Tyler Perry. Medea writes it.
He writes all that
writes
himself?
all those himself.
He's got writers. He's got writers.
Oh, yeah.
No, he writes it all himself.
You think he's really serious about not doing another one? Because, I mean, that's what Sylvester Stallone said after...
No, they advertise it as Medea's funeral, of whatever it is, last.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they don't come back, because everybody does come back after they say they stop.
I mean,
so you could be right about that.
He is so talented. He plays 5 parts with the makeup. He plays the old man with the no legs. He plays the father that's has cancer. He plays Medea, the woman with the big tits. He plays
the brother.
The brother. I mean, he's a talented human being, and he is so good looking. I wish he was gay. I'd date him. I could get rid of Jimmy. I could dump Jimmy and marry him.
So wait, hold on. Let's go back. Okay, so you've got all these great things going on, as well as being a teacher. But now you've got, because I want to make sure we have time to bring this in, you have a new film, and it's a musical film. So you sing then. I know you're a composer. Are you also a singer?
Yes. I'm an accomplished singer, but I literally tried to insulate myself from being pigeonholed as a singer, because a lot of my friends that were Broadway musical people couldn't get film jobs, because it was a time when they were sort of like, oh yeah, you do that. Okay, you sing, you act. And so I tried to keep it on the down low, really. And then I came in for Five Guys Named Mo, which is a Broadway musical. It was on the West End in London.
I know that musical.
You know that show? It's a Louis Jordan music box show. And I went in to sing for Cameron McIntosh, the British producer. And all of them had their mouths open. They were like, we didn't know you sang like that. I mean, they called me in because I was the right type, but they didn't expect much. And I got the role. And so I've been singing. I've done studio stuff. I was part of a group called the Angel Chorus that sang down at you ever watched the Crystal Cathedral, the Hour of Power show years ago?
Oh, yeah, back in the day, yes.
Not me, no.
Yeah, so the daughter took over and I came in, we were singing that. So yeah, a lot of singing. And this one, though, is very unique because, I mean, I love singing that comes out of a real character need, not just a song they throw up against the wall, but something that needs to be said. That's really what a musical is. It's like, it's so much you have to sing it. And I'm playing one of the great roles in this. I'm playing Simon Peter, the disciple that walked on water, acknowledged that Jesus was Messiah, and then was rebuked as Satan himself. So I have a great role. We use the name Cephas in it instead of Simon Peter because of...
okay, I was getting confused. I was looking at my notes and I was like, it says Cephas.
Yeah, Cephas is the Aramaic, what literally would have been spoken at that time in Jerusalem and throughout Israel. So he would have been called Cephas, but it's in Scripture.
When we lived in Pennsylvania, our street was Cephas Drive.
Yeah, we lived on Cephas Child Road.
Cephas Child Road.
Man.
So hang on, everybody.
That was our address. Our address was
Cephas Road.
Cephas Child's Road.
Cephas Child Road. But hold on, let's tell everybody. So everybody, what we're talking about at the film, it's a musical film. It's called Revival. It's a new rendering of the Gospel according to John. Kirk Taylor plays Cephas, and you have musical royalty in this film. Shaka Khan is in this film.
Oh, I love Shaka
Michelle
Khan.
Williams, which if anybody who doesn't know Michelle Williams, she was like the third of Destiny's Child, one of the biggest selling female groups in history, probably the biggest selling female group in history.
Yeah, I would say.
And so it's got a great cast of people in it, and you get to sing in it. And I think nowadays, it's important that people know that you sing, because look at what was that terrible movie that won all the Academy Awards that Emma Stone sings in? We didn't like that movie.
Oh, was it La La Land?
Yeah, and they can't sing at all. Like maybe those kind of roles could come up and they'll put somebody who could actually sing.
No, but you know the expression triple threat. came from these actors that do triple everything. But you know, when black people say to me they sing, I yawn like, "Oh, really? That's such shocking news." I mean, I don't know any black people that well, who can't sing that's black? I mean, black people have a history. Johnny Mathis, who I love and adore,
his favorite singer,
and I'm happy to say I know him. And I said to Johnny Mathis, we were food shopping in the Bread Basket in Hollywood together, and I said to him, "You got started where?" He said, "In church." I said, "I know. That's how come you have soul, and that's how come you could sing love songs from the heart." And Johnny said, I do. He said, "I do not sing songs." He said, I emote and feel songs. And that's why Johnny Mathis today is better than Frank Sinatra, Tony Bennett. He is the #1 vocalist in the world. And anybody out there that doesn't know who he is, kill yourself or find out who he is and listen to his music. And Johnny as a person is delicious. He's the sweetest, shyest, most unpretentious man. He's so humble. I mean, he makes you feel like you're the star and he's the audience. He's a lovely guy.
So do you like Johnny Mathis?
Did you ever meet Johnny?
I have a Johnny Mathis story. I want you to pass this on to him. This is major.
Oh, I haven't seen him
Johnny
in years
Eaton,
now.
who passed away a few years ago, was in '92. He was playing with different groups back in the 50s, 60s, 70s. And in the 50s, he was playing with a guy named Horace Silver, Cape Verdean pianist. And he was at a piano player's party where Art Tatum was there, Errol Gardner, of course.
Errol Gardner.
Yeah, Horace Silver. And they were playing the piano until Art Tatum got on the piano. And he opened up the grand piano and started plucking the strings with his left hand and soloing with his right hand. So nobody wanted to go near the piano. They wanted to have lunch at that point. And Johnny said, "Well, listen, I'm a bassist." So he played piano and bass. He said, "I'm mostly a bassist. I'm going to just sit down and play." And he started playing a tune he wrote called Blue Rain. And within minutes, people were gathered. They said, "What is that? That's haunting. That's a very unusual melody. Play it again." He played it again. Errol Gardner said, Can I try it?" He did. He sat down and played it. And a year later, Johnny was in L.A., I think, he said he was eating scrapple and eggs. And over the radio, he heard Sarah Vaughan say, "Look at me. I'm as helpless as a kitten up a tree." His song, the melody, the chords, Errol Gardner had lifted it. Now, a note about that. My trumpet teacher, Jimmy Owen, jazz trumpet player, he said, "I believe that for 2 reasons." He said, first of all, I read the account of how he wrote the song. He was on a plane getting ready to land into Chicago, and the song was playing over and over and over again in his head. He said he was rushing to get to a piano. He said, and secondly, Errol never wrote anything like that again. It's not like any style before or after. And of course, that's the song that Johnny Mathis heard Errol Gardner play at a club with his father or uncle. And he looked at his relative and he says, "I want to do this. I want to sing." I mean, literally, Misty, my uncle's melody, my uncle's chords became, even though you don't know, Uncle Johnny, he literally has gone around the world. His melody has delighted generations of people. And Johnny Mathis is part of that. He was very distraught, though, about losing the song. And he said he would go into clubs and drunk patrons would say, "Hey, can you play Misty?" He said, "Yeah, I guess I should be able to play it. I wrote it." And they'd laugh.
Well, I was food shopping. I was food shopping with Johnny, the two of us together. And I'm amazed now. No one comes up to him and said, "Are you Johnny Mathis?" And I said to Johnny, "This is the first time you and I are ever public together, where real people are, the audience." And he said, "Oh, no one knows who I am." I said, "You got to be shitting me. Come on, Johnny, cut the shit." He says, "Ron, nobody knows me." Now we get to the checkout counter and there's a young man there. And I said, "Do you know who this is?" And the kid went, "No." I said, "This is Johnny Mathis." He said, "And so?" I said, "And so? This is Johnny Mathis, the greatest singer in the fucking world, you moron, son of a bitch." And he looked at me, he said, "Don't use that language with me." I said, "In 2 minutes, I'm going to punch you in the fucking face, let alone use the language." Now, Johnny is hysterical. He can't stop laughing. He's bending over crying. He said to me, "This is why I like you." I was so upset. "You moron. You should be jumping across the cash register and hugging and kissing the man."
No,
he's my angel.
The hit he had with Misty, he had a fight. The record label didn't want him to do it. They said, "No, that's a girl's song. We don't need." He said, "No, I'm singing it." He said, No. Yes, I want that on my album." He fought to have Misty on the album. And so,
it's a wonderful song.
It's a great tune. And it is a very unusual melody. It stops on the major seventh, which is,
and then it drops.
No, but Johnny was very
I'm as helpless as a kitty up a tree. Never
kitty.
knowing my right foot from my left, my hat from my glove. I get misty and so much in love with my bad voice this morning. But anyway, Johnny Mantis has an album out, Open Fire with 2 guitars. And at a cocktail party, I was sitting gabbing with him, and I said, you know, Johnny, I got your out. This is years ago, 25 years ago. I said, I got you a new album, Open Fire, 2 guitars. And the song that you sing in the beginning is absolutely incredible. And that's staring at an open fire, watching flames as they grow higher. G-da-da-da-da-da-da. He said, you know who wrote that? And I said, no. And he told me, and I forgot the name of the group, but it was a famous rock, heavy, hard metal, rock and roll group. And the guy wrote that song. And Johnny loves it. So people out there, go get Open Fire with 2 guitars. You can get
listen to Misty.
And you can get it on.
It's pretty new.
The album?
No, it's like 25 or 30 years ago.
No, I was with Johnny. I met Johnny 1,000 years ago. Maybe 1969, 70. I don't even remember. It was years and years. I know. I've met Johnny over the. I know him about 35 years. We're not friends. We don't hang out. But when we see each other, we're nice to each other. He likes me. He thinks I'm a little off the wall, but he likes me. And I think he's wonderful. And, you know, he was in a long-term relationship of which we won't discuss. And then he had a stroke, and the person that he was with left him, which was terrible. And Johnny had to learn to speak all over again. His face was distorted. That's why sometimes when he hits certain notes, you see him do an expression like that.
Yeah.
And he's very religious. He prays to the Lord all the time. He's not a born again, but he's a devout Christian. And he said that with the help of the Lord and his prayers, he was able to sing again and talk properly. I love the man. I can't tell you more than that. It's a sin if you've never met him, because you're losing out.
I wish I could.
Oh, you will. Johnny's working again. I couldn't go. I was so pissed off. He was here at our casino. And I was going to call his
in November.
And I was going to call his agent and say, compass in. I want to go green room. I don't even want to see the show. I want to hear it from the wings. And I could have gotten that kind of clout. But Jimmy and I had a very major red carpet event to go to that was one of his clients, and we just.
I'm a publicist.
And I was devastated. I was devastated. I was devastated that I couldn't go that night because I haven't seen Johnny in 10, 15
So hold
years.
on, let's go back. Let's get off the topic, Johnny, and let's go back to Revival, because how do people actually, is it out? Can we see that film yet? Is it out yet? Has it been distributed?
Yeah, we did a kind of a soft opening in December. We premiered at the Museum of the Bible in DC, and then we went into 10 cities for just like 3 or 4 days. Did well, and they said, okay, we're going to open it closer to Easter, which is perfect because it's dealing with, the crucifixion, the passion of Christ. So they're going to open it, I think, April 19th in 6 different markets.
There you go.
Theaters. And so from there, depending on how the response is, we're going to, expand to other theaters. I mean, it's a very unusual film in that I don't know if I mentioned, but it starts in as a stage play. It was written as a stage play by Harry Lennox. And that stage play, and he's playing Pontius Pilate in it. He's got a great role. And that stage play, he said, let's film it. And that turned into a movie. And then it became a film, a stage play within a movie, because the main guy, Molly Music, who's a double Grammy nominee, playing Jesus, he goes into his dressing room and starts putting on the garb. And he looks into the mirror, and something supernatural happens, and he falls into the mirror, and he's in the 1st century. And
very cool.
Then it flashes back to on the stage. Then it goes into the future, LA 2050. So basically, the idea is that the message is, I call it Jesus Christ Superstar and Godspell meet 2001 Space Odyssey.
There you go.
It's kind of
I think it's
that's quite a mix. You know what? We've got to introduce you to a good friend of ours, Thomas Churchill. He's a director and a producer. You know Churchill's name?
No.
Yeah, well, he's a dear friend of mine, and he does fabulous films. He doesn't do shitty horror films. He does good horror films. In fact, I'm in his next film, which is called the Big...
No, don't.
I can't give the title.
You can't talk about it at all. You shouldn't even be mentioning it.
Well, anyway, I play
Untitled Project.
Untitled Project, right.
But listen to this for what a stretch I have to play. I mean, it's going to be very difficult for me to play this role because I play a Brooklyn hood. with a heavy Brooklyn accent.
What are you going to do?
I don't know. I got to learn the Brooklyn accent now.
Actually, I was thinking we need to introduce him to Harley. Like,
Harley.
You need to follow me back on Twitter. I'm Dr. Jimmy Star on Twitter.
Watch the show. Our next guest is Harley. Harley does phenomenal movies. I mean, his movies are like the best.
He writes, directs, and acts in films, and Billy Worth has been in like his last 2 or 3 films.
And I think he'd be very interested.
And he would like you.
I think he'd be very interested in your talent. I really think he would absolutely be happy that we introduced you to him. And he does a lot of film.
Let me do a little bragging. All right, everybody. So Kirk has worked with because I'm leading up to a question. Kirk has worked with a lot of really cool people. He's also a student of Lee Strasberg and Stella Adler. He's worked with Leon, which he's been on our show. I have to mention the ones that have been on our show.
We love Leon.
Julie Newmar, Randall Batinkoff, Charles Bronson, Ed Lauder. I just like Ed Lauder a lot. He hasn't been on our show. Alex Winter, Barbie Wild's been on our show. Matthew Modine, Spike Lee, Robert De Niro, Kathy Baker, Ed Harris, Tom Hanks, Bruce Willis, Morgan Freeman, Kim Cattrall, Melanie Griffith, Ben Affleck, James Cromwell, Peter Dinklage, James Earl Jones, Robin Williams, Mila Kunis, and a million other cool Shaka Khan, Michelle Williams. So you've worked with all these cool-ass people. Who's on your bucket list? If you could work with any male and female actor that you have not had an opportunity to work with, who is the male and female actor that you'd really like to be in a film with? And that's the first part of the question. The second part of the question is, if you could have been in any film that's ever been made in history, what film would you have liked to have been in?
Oh, wow. What a good question. The actor is without a doubt one of the craftiest of the method acting trio. And the trio is De Niro, Hoffman, and Pacino. Which one do you think I'm going to choose?
De Niro.
No,
Pacino.
I work with De Niro.
He already worked with De Niro.
De Niro, it would be Hoffman.
Hoffman's dead.
Doesn't matter.
Well,
what do you mean?
With him? He's dead. He died.
No, he didn't.
Who are we talking about?
Dustin Hoffman.
Dustin Hoffman.
Oh, I'm talking about the other Hoffman.
I don't even know.
Oh, you scared
Hoffman.
the mess out of me.
No, not Dustin.
He's going to pick Hoffman, actually.
I thought you meant...
I pick Hoffman.
Hoffman I'm talking about, the fat guy that played a gay guy once. Hoffman. He played...
That's not his name. That was his character's name.
I know. You're talking about the guy that was in... He was in one of the Mission Impossibles, too. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
That's who I'm talking.
Yes.
Yeah. That's who
This is Dustin Hoffman. He's the craftiest. I've seen him on stage. I saw him twice in Merchant of Venice. I saw him in Death of a Salesman on Broadway. And I went multiple times to really study his work. And he is a brilliant actor. And he directed a film a couple years ago called something about the Quartet. It was a Quartet, something like that, which was brilliant. He is a brilliant actor. He doesn't like acting, by the way. In a sense that, the whole method approach is trying to not act it, but try to find a way to really engage yourself in something.
Absolutely. Be the part or don't do the part.
Right.
I always say.
So that's
otherwise you're reading
lines.
lines.
The guy. What about the girl? Okay, give us a female that you want to act opposite.
And don't say Meryl Streep.
Well, if he wants to.
Everybody says Meryl Streep. We need a new name.
Somebody that I've always kind of admired. There are two, Ellen Burstyn and
she's fabulous.
She's something else. Ellen Burstyn, and there was someone else that just came to mind too. But yeah, Ellen is a very Shirley MacLaine.
Oh, I know Shirley. Shirley's incredible.
She's a very interesting woman.
Oh,
and
she's out of her mind. She's so interesting.
You ever see Being There?
Yes.
Oh, sure. I've seen all of Shirley's work.
Oh.
Shirley MacLaine is probably, I've met Shirley 3, 4, 5 times. I was in a limo with her and Joan Rivers. And I got to tell you, if we had a camera there, we would have had a show. You never heard such language in your life, not even sailors. And I was in the middle of Shirley here, Joan there. Joan just finished doing a thing in a nightclub where she would rehearse her lines and to see if the audience liked it. And then we'd all have to say what we liked and didn't like of her jokes. Now we go outside, and Shirley MacLaine needed a lift to get home. I don't know why she didn't have a car, but anyway, Shirley gets in the car with Joan, and I'm with Joan, and we get in the car. Between those two broads, I mean, I can't even remember. I was laughing so hard. They are a riot together. I'm so sorry they were never cast in a TV show together.
Or movie.
No, not a movie, a TV show, because you want to see it every week. They are a riot together. It was an evening I'll never forget. The limo never moved, by the way. It stayed there for hours, and then I got out, and then the girls took off. But I mean, we were going to go for Mexican food at what's his name's place on Sunset.
I love it. All right, so let's go to
Anyway,
film.
Shirley
What
MacLaine
film
is real. She's
What film would you have
real
liked to
person.
have been in? What film would you have liked to have been in?
I would have liked to have been in The Godfather and play
Okay.
and be there with that, Brando and James Caan and Pacino. I would have loved to have played one of the adopted son or something.
There you go.
I actually used to live in Astoria, Queens, and
Go away, stop, halt.
You have 5 minutes, so
I lived in Astoria all my life. I was born in Brooklyn, and we moved to Astoria, Queens, when I was about 7 or 8.
Oh my
and
goodness.
I grew up in Astoria, Steinway Street, Broadway, 31st Street, the L. I mean, Rainey Park, Astoria Park. I used to make out in Astoria Park down on the river with my girlfriend when I was a
my
teenager.
gosh. I love
know.
that neighborhood.
Astoria Park used to be all
language
Italian.
There?
Hmm?
You know
say
what
that
language?
again.
Greek.
You know what?
They thought I was
Greek, they
Greek. When I went to
because-
Italian,
well, no, wait. Ditmars and Ditmars Avenue was all Greek. But then if you went further towards New York to Ravenswood, Astoria, they were all Italian and Jews.
But he said that
Right.
they thought he was Greek.
Oh, yeah, because he looks
they
like
thought
a
I was
Greek.
Greek. They thought I was Italian. They thought I'm Egyptian. I had Egyptian
Yes,
guys.
you look Egyptian.
I got to New York, was very frustrated because nobody knew I was black.
Well, nobody should pay mind to that anyway. So I mean,
True.
that's not a reason. I mean, you look multi anything. Like I look multi anything. People think I'm English, Irish, French. I'm Italian and Jewish. I'm 100%. Italian. But yeah, living in Astoria was wonderful as a kid. We swam in the East River, and we hung out at Astoria Park, made out with our
Swam?
girlfriends.
Wait, you
Swam
swam
in the
in
East
East
River. Yeah, and we used to.
New York. It was radioactive.
Well, that's why I'm 78 and I look 50, because the filthy water. We used to have condoms that were knotted, float by, and we'd push it away because the sewer used to empty into East River. Then lumps of shit would be floating, and we'd
He
push.
thinks that's why he never gets sick, and that's why he
Yes.
looks so good.
My
Because when
immu-
they were young, they all swam in the East
my
River.
immune system is so strong because I swam in the sewer. East River was our beach. I mean, I went to PS 83, which was right on the East River in Ravenswood on Vernon Boulevard. And we used to cross Vernon Boulevard and go down the Marble Yard and swim in the river on our lunch hour and then come back. Now, when I got home, my mother would smell the river on me. So she said, give me your arm. And she licked my arm and she tasted the salt. And then she gave me a shot behind the head. Stay out of that river. You could drown in that river. What are you, crazy? Never said anything about the rats running around the rocks or the condoms or the shit floating or the urine that was in that river.
Lucky she didn't know about
said,
that.
oh, she knew. She just didn't care about that. She just didn't want me to drown. But I loved Astoria growing up. Steinway
Wait, what
Street.
was he going to? Oh, he was telling us because said that they didn't know what ethnicity he was.
Well, yeah, because you know what?
That's funny.
When you're Latin or dark, I mean, when I'm in the sun, I could probably look mulatto. I mean, I don't know if my features are, but I get really black, and people don't know what I am. I'm taken mostly for Hispanic.
So hang on, you guys, because we've only got a couple of. We got
Not
like 2
with the
minutes.
white hair. Don't forget, I had jet black hair.
Yeah,
And dark. So when I was dark with jet black hair, I look very ethnic.
So you guys, this is Kirk Taylor. You can follow him on Twitter. His Twitter is I am Kirk Taylor, KirkTaylor. Do you have like a website or a Facebook fan page or anything we should send people to?
KirkTaylorOfficial.com.
So check out his website, KirkTaylorOfficial.com.
Wait, halt. I like you so much, and I think you're so cool, that I think that Jimmy should privately invite you to an event we're going to. It's a very big event. Can you get him in?
Oh, I don't know. I have to see.
We'll see if we can get you in. But if we can, we want you to go. Major event. Movie people.
I would
mostly
love to
music.
go.
It's music.
I'd love to meet you guys in person too.
Yeah, I want to meet you because you're a cool guy. I mean, and I like your work, so I don't have to bullshit you by telling you, oh, I think your work is good, because I hate
We
you
also
very much.
want to give a shout out to Lori DeWall from DeWall and Associates. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, and I normally don't advertise other publicists, but like she's getting us some really great guests, and you're a great guest, and we appreciate her reaching out to us to have you on the show. And
I just love Lori. We've been working together for a few months, and she worked with Rod Steiger.
Oh my God! Remember Rod Steiger?
Rod Steiger. She worked with
strangest man in the world.
Bernie Hudson. She's worked with so many people in the industry. So it's like she's a gold mine, and she's a lovely person. Did you meet her ever?
I've never met her. She just emails me with suggestions for people that might be good guests, and we work with a lot of cool publicists. Most of the time, I get everybody on Twitter because I have a huge Twitter following.
And to counteract that wonderful compliment you gave her, my guy Jimmy Star was voted the #1 publicist in the world. So how do you like that? So let her beat that. It's true. It's true.
Twice, 2 different organizations named me as the best entertainment publicist. Yes,
that's outstanding.
Jimmy gets them working. Jimmy gets them working.
We love it all. But either way, I think you're fabulous. We would love to meet you. I don't actually.
You know the event I'm talking about.
And
yes, I do.
If they want to see if they want to check on Revival, where it's going to be April 19th, they can look on www.revivalthemovie.com.
Do you have a red carpet event?
We had one in D.C. already for the
not
World.
LA, not
but
in
I
LA.
don't think they're going to do a regular. They may do something in Chicago, and they're going to be Houston, Chicago. I mean, a bunch of Atlanta.
If you do LA, let us know. We'll come to your red carpet.
Where do you guys live?
We're in Palm Springs.
Palm Springs, Florida. Okay.
California.
California, Fairyland.
We're in Palm Springs, California. We go to LA twice a week for events.
Oh yeah, man! I thought I was going to be flying to Florida to meet you guys. Let's
we live in
dinner or something.
We live in Fairyland.
He might know. We're actually married. We're married. We're gay and married. We're gay and coupled.
I know you never know. I was gay. This one looks like a big fruit, but I'm a tough guy.
So here's what you got to do. Follow me on Twitter, and then I'm Doc Dr. Jimmy Star on Twitter, and then send me a message because I don't have any contact information for you because I was contacting everything through Lori, and we'll see if we can get you in some stuff.
And I have to tell you something. Jimmy and I are the first gay married couple to be on television and not been kicked off. Wow. So I think we've done something for gay people. I think we set a precedent for gay people.
There you go. We are representing. So everybody, this is Kirk Taylor. We got to actually go because our other guest is expecting our call.
Kirk, you're fabulous. Huh?
How do I watch the next show?
Go to w4cuy.com and hit ITV at the top, and you can watch it. Otherwise, you'll hear it.
Instagram.
No, neither. Just go right to your website. Yeah. Go to www.w4cy.com.
How about he just types in Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell?
It won't show up that way.
We have to get that.
Not to get the link. You can't get the link to watch it. It'll take you to our YouTube
you
and
have
everything.
To watch it because the next guy coming on we're going to introduce you to, and he's a big shot.
Somebody
you should know, and he's a sweetheart of a guy. Tough guy. He's like us. He's a tough guy. Talks tough.
W4cy.com. All right, we got to go. All right.
Love you, Kirk.
Thank you, Kirk.
Good.
Great.
Thank you. Good show. You gave us a wonderful show. I love it.
Thank you.
And good boy.
Bye.
Good going. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Nice.
Bye.
What a nice
All right,
guy.
everybody. So listen up. You can hear us every week on W4CY Radio, K4HD Radio, Hit 1069 FM, Jackalope Radio in St. Louis, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Podomatic, Audio Boom, Spreaker, Apple TV, iTunes, and Podbean. And on television, you can see us on Vimeo, YouTube, Roku, Comcast On Demand, and soon you'll see us on the Dish Network. All right, Scott and Dee.
Yes.
Not the best.
Let's try and get our next guest. So Scott, we're going to go with the plan that we're going to play BU while you're getting them on the line, and then we'll play the trailer for everybody. Does that work?
Are we going to
get them on the line?
Are we going to play BU and then the trailer right after it?
No, we're going to play BU, and then once we have him on the line, we'll play the trailer. We'll make sure we got him, and then we'll come back and introduce him.
Okay, so we're going to play BU by World 5?
Then come back live once we have him, and we'll tell everybody what we're doing.
Okay, sounds good to me. You just let us know when you want us to play.
Yeah, introduce BU. We'll kick it off, and then I will call Harley.
All right, everybody, check it out. This is BU by World 5. Enjoy.
There's no magic wand that will wave and help you carry on. Be the one your soul shines your mind, weighing it down, heart pounding of the hellish kind. Bonded faith and love seem to separate. I don't understand. I'm from the outside looking in. In times like these, you need a friend. You will persevere. All that holds you back is fear. Be the one your soul shines through. Get yourself in gear. Wipe away those needed tears. Be the one your soul shines through. Be you. And they pass off your plight, pretending not to notice as they fly their kites. You fill this wretched void with burning rain. Don't know what else to do. You just have thought of the ways you can get back what's been taken from you. And carrying that spite, you'll never be free. Get yourself in gear. Wipe away those needed tears. Be the one your soul shines through. Create something new. That is what we're meant to do. Be the one your soul shines through. Be you.
Hey, you guys, we're back.
All right, everybody, that was BU by World 5, and now we've got Harley Wallen, which we're not really going to introduce him yet until we play the trailer for his brand new film getting ready to come out called Abeyance. And the reason that we're doing this, so everybody knows how we're doing this way, is because now that we're on Comcast and the Dish Network and stuff, we can't play those during the interview because they're afraid that they're going to have some kind of like problems with trademarks and rights and all that stuff. So I have to play it ahead of time and keep your interview separate. So we want everybody to see it, and then we're going to come back and talk about it.
Also, we want to make you suffer while you wait to see Harley.
Yes, that's right. Well, everybody can see him. They just can't hear him.
Well,
so
you
anyway.
make you suffer so you can't hear him, you little dogs.
So Dee and Scott, are you guys ready if I introduce it?
I have the trailer up and ready.
What have you got up and ready?
Ooh.
We're talking
heard her
about
say
Abeyance, yes? I'm ready to rock. and
Yes,
roll.
we're talking
I thought
about
she
Abeyance.
said she was up and ready.
So you got it ready? Everybody's ready to go?
Yep, just tell us to hit.
All right, everybody, this is the trailer for the soon-to-be-released new film by the incredibly talented Harley Wallen. It's called Abeyance. Enjoy.
If you ever want to see your daughter again, shut your mouth.
My parents are making it to my house.
I need you to follow the rules without question. That's why there is $5 million in it for you and your boys.
Deal.
We're a little lead research company transplanting human heads. We're breaking so many laws right now, Oliver. I'm still awaiting clearance on human trials.
All I can say is, get it done.
But you don't have to take this stand. It doesn't have to be your fight.
We know that they're selling this technology to the highest bidder.
This whole thing's too big for us.
Now the richest of the rich have their fountain of youth.
I started this company, and I made it.
These are some of the most powerful people in the world. And she's about to spoil their attempt at life everlasting.
Not only should we continue to do this, we must continue to do this. We have to.
All of you.
So that was Abeyance, Harley Wallen's brand new film. Harley, say something, and then we'll introduce you.
All right. So yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, everybody. Now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, the incredibly talented actor, writer, producer, and director, Mr. Harley Wallen. Hello and welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to be on with you guys. We were supposed to be on about a month ago.
Yeah.
The unfortunate
death of Chad.
Chad passed away.
Yeah, so we're happy to have you back.
We couldn't do the show without Chad that first. We were devastated.
It took us a month.
It took me a long time. I'm still not over Chad. I miss Chad all the time.
But we have new people we're working with now. We want you to say hi to them. We have in Florida, we have Danielle.
Hello.
Hi, Danielle.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great.
She's looking for a lover.
Yeah, so if you know anybody, we need to hook her up. And then we have in Philadelphia, we have Scott. So say hi to Scott.
Hey, Harley, how you doing?
I'm great. How about you?
Good, sir.
Meanwhile, Harley is like one of our. I guess we can't call you a guest, Harley, because you're really not. You're a friend. I mean, he's a friend that's on our show. We have a lot of our friends on our show. But I got to tell you, this son of a bitch is knocking out fucking hit after hit. I don't know what he's got going. I think he's in league. He's in league with the devil, I think. And it's amazing what's going on. So tell us a little bit about.
Tell us about Abeyance first, since we just played the video for it.
Yeah. So Abeyance is a bit of a brainchild from. I saw on Facebook that there's an Italian doctor that's attempting to switch heads on two human beings. One has a brain dead head and a fully functional body. The other one has a body that's not working with a fully functioning head. And they're legit thinking that they can actually do this. So I just started thinking about the ramifications of life everlasting, about being able to switch and whatever else. And how far are we from being able to download our consciousness and maybe uploading it into a brand new meat suit to continue living in? So that's the premise of the film, is that they've just figured out how to do that.
Now you're talking like an alien, you know that. Because the extraterrestrials of millions of years ago that were here on this planet were doing that. The Egyptians did that when humans had wolves' heads or cow heads. They were doing that. They were switching the heads from humans to animals.
I love it.
So it's not new. It's just been remembered. And this film has got to be like.
I think this sounds awesome. So
forget it. It's fresh. It's new. No clowns. No clowns.
Retro new, right?
Yes, it's retro new. You guys,
no clowns.
So
I'm so happy.
You guys, you spell Abeyance, Abeyance. This movie stars Scout Taylor Compton, who's probably like one of my favorite women in horror.
So good.
Scout Taylor Compton, you guys know her from Rob Zombie's Halloween and a zillion other things, but like
she works.
She works a lot. Richard Tyson, who was also in Betrayed. We met Richard Tyson at your movie premiere.
Yeah.
Bailey Worth, who I knew before, but he was also in Betrayed. Jan Birch, who was also in Betrayed, and on our show, Mel Novak, Katie Wallen, who's your wife.
Gorgeous. By the way, how did you get her? I mean, what did you promise her or lie to her about? She's gorgeous, sexy, beautiful body.
She's stunning.
What made her love you, and not me?
I think it's the package.
Oh, I love it. That's good boy. Good boy.
The full package.
How do you think I got Jimmy? I whipped it out and he fell in love. You know?
Absolutely. Hey, what are you gonna do?
Hey, I'm Italian. You know, Swedes and Italians, they're pretty big.
I have to say though, because so I went. You guys, Harley's really got. He's like a very in-demand. He directs. He writes a lot of his stuff. He directs. He acts in it. He's also, because I went on your IMDb and looked at all these different things.
You.
No, don't interrupt.
I have to.
I'm on a space.
Shut up. I watched Harley's performance, and I thought
in Betrayed.
No, the one where they kidnapped the girl.
Yeah, Betrayed.
Right. Well, I get confused, and I said to myself, the man can act. And if a man can act, he can direct.
Oh, and he's fantastic. So wait, you messed up my whole train of thought. So Harley, you guys has games. Abeyance, Agramon's Gate, starring Lorraine Landon and Jan Birch and Harley Wallen and Katie Wallen.
Stop again. Lorraine Landon, my dream angel. I adore her. We are the closest.
Now wait a second.
Do you want to break some news? I'm gonna wait. You do your thing.
Lorraine Landon
exclusively today.
Oh,
yes. Oh, yeah. We love that. That's fantastic.
I love her with all my heart and soul. Lorene Landon is my
amazing.
dearest friend. She's an angel from heaven.
But wait, then you have Betrayed that we saw with John Savage, Richard Tyson, Billy Wirth, T.J. Storm, Jan Birch, and you and your wife. Bennett's Song with Tara Reid, Dennis Haskins, and how do you pronounce this name? Calhoun Koenig? Is that how we pronounce her name?
That's the young Asian girl that's in a fair amount of what I do. She's phenomenal.
What a phenomenal young actress she is. And then you also have a movie coming out, Enigma, with T.J. Storm and Dennis Haskins. I have a purpose for this. And a Bennett Song Holiday, which I guess is going to be the sequel to Bennett Song?
Absolutely.
And one thing the reason I'm bringing all this up, if you guys go on IMDb and search Harley Wallen, he has built a cottage industry of films with A-, B+ fantastic actors that are really all working all the time,
like Lorene Landon,
all recognizable. Everybody knows who they are, and everybody in every film he's got a few of the people that he worked with in the other films, and he gets distribution. His movies sell. They're fabulous. The acting is great.
Because he's a good director. He knows how to fucking act. He's not one of these like my last director. I won't mention his name, but he should drop dead and rot in hell. He was the worst human being. It was his second movie, and he treated us like trash. And he was so mean to us, and he was homophobic. And there I am playing a gay minister. And I mean, it was just a horrible event. And I'm so sorry I returned to film, and my first film had to be crappy because I'm used to, movie. I was directed by, what's his name? The biggest director in the world, Luft. Anyway.
He doesn't remember.
My mind
78. Which, by the way, if you shoot any films in LA, the guy that we just had on the show before us just did a movie with Billy Wirth not too long ago.
We're going to introduce
his name's Kirk Taylor. He was in Full Metal Jacket and Death Wish 3 and a whole bunch of cool movies. But anyway, we told him we have to introduce him to you because if you need a stellar guy, this is like one really good guy.
The beautiful part is he could be African American, Egyptian, he could be Greek, he could be so many characters because his face is conducive to everything, and I've seen his work. I've watched his work for a long time, and he's a fine actor. As a person, he's a sweetie pie as a person. One problem, he's like me. He'll take over and redirect and reset the sets and build and write the story the correct way.
No, that was just once. He did it once with Francis Ford Coppola, and it worked. But anyway. He
told Francis Coppola there should be champagne in the scene, and Francis said, "Get a glass of champagne." So I mean, he's got balls. I like balls.
You gotta love it. So tell me though, like obviously that's all planned out in your doing because you have 10 films, upcoming projects. I mean, you're always working. So you've built yourself a team of go-to people that are big names to get distribution. They're all good actors. They all work together well, obviously, because they're all in a bunch of films together.
But his star of stars is Lorene. I understand. No.
He loves Lorene. We love Lorene.
No, she's up for award.
That's his film. That he's up for the
Of course
award
I know it's his film, you moron queen. But she's up for an award. I was told by people that she plays a drunken, no good wife to Bruce Stern.
No, that's not his film.
That's not Harley's film?
No, that's Churchill's film.
Oh, fuck all of these people.
Agramon's Gate is his film.
Wait, which one is that?
Agramon's Gate is the one. Tell us about Agramon's Gate.
Refresh my mind.
Agramon's Gate is a horror movie with a story.
Was that with the bikers? With the bikers?
No, that's
the one with the bikers?
No, so this is the demon that comes back after and says that he is the father of the couple that just started their thing at the seance. So essentially they do a seance to talk to their dead relatives, and back comes Carter, the father of the couple. Little did they know it's not just the father, it's actually Agramon, the demon of fear, coming back to essentially scare them all to death. And that's how it gets power.
Why haven't I seen this film? Why haven't I seen this film?
Hasn't come out yet.
It's not out. It's not out.
Well, why didn't you send us? Why didn't you send?
Oh, wait, he's got an announcement. Hold on, the trailer's out, so he's going to give us an announcement.
Oh, I don't want.
First of all, though, Lorene.
Wait, I want to see this film.
No,
it sounds good.
Lorene is nominated for something in this, though, right?
Yes, she has actually won a couple of things and a couple of nominations, and the film itself has done incredible. The biggest news, though, came today. probably 15 minutes before we got on, in my inbox, there's a message. Have you heard of World Fest Film Festival? It's a 52-year festival in Houston.
Yes,
Like they have awarded Spielberg and
It's
everybody else.
It's a big festival.
Yeah, and they just notified us that we're finalists.
Yay!
Oh, you're gonna win.
So-
This plot sounds good. When can I see the film? Can I see it before it's released?
Actually, we are currently negotiating some pretty cool distribution stuff, but we don't have signatures yet. So that will have to be. We'll have to break that on a different show.
We'll break that one on a
Are you
different
totally
show.
clean and edited and ready for view?
We are probably a tweak away from that.
Perfect. Okay. I can't wait. This is a good plot. I love devils and I love seances. I'm sick of the other shit that I'm in. You know, I got 5 movies I played. Thank God I played different characters. One I played a minister. One I play a mafia. One I play a Buddhist drag queen. That's a good comedy. It's a comedy. And then the other one I play something else. But the movie I just finished shooting, Circus Road, is a clown movie.
Clowns are popular right now.
But I
Clowns
play
are
a
popular.
minister. Watch I don't think the movie's great, but I was.
You know what? Sometimes you get one or the other, right?
Right, exactly.
So also, though, because you're another way that you have segregated yourself outside of the indie pack is that you don't do any one kind of film. Bennett's Song is family film. Agramon's Gate's a horror film. Betrayed's a thriller, action thriller. You know, you've kind of like not pigeonholed yourself into any one category, and I'm sure you did that on purpose. But tell us a little bit about and the people, because there's a lot of people who are in entertainment. You know, how you did your thinking for all of that.
Well, I think to me, now everything has moved to how many followers do you have on Instagram when you get casting calls and everything else. And I feel that so many films these days are shaky in acting or shaky in story, and you can poke holes very easily. So I try to return to what's a great script, what's great, compelling characters, what's interesting, and go from there. That's much more important to me than anything else. And then I am an acting snob, and
an acting snob.
Really, I am. I'm a pain in the ass. I'm the guy who will sit down and talk about these great people that paved the way for us, the coaches of the Sanford Meisners and the Lee Strasberg. Like I'll sit and talk that all day, and the different philosophies, about how to be an actor, and so I cast everything myself.
So what you,
to leads.
What you're saying is you're standing on shoulders of greats.
Amen.
That's it. That's wonderful because I'm from that era. I'm 78 years old, so I'm from the 1940 era. I've been in film since 1959, and I've watched the difference. When we shot That Kind of Woman with Sophia Loren and Tab Hunter, it was professionally done. Took 3 months to shoot the film. Today they do a 10-day film. It shows it's 10 days. It's green. It needs work. They don't really care. They make the title good. They push it out there. They hope they get $5 for it.
They get a good poster.
You know what I mean? But your work is different, and I know that you don't really want to be a $5 movie. So you put into it what was the quality of work. That's the word. Your work is quality.
And a lot of these.
And I'm not blowing smoke up your ass because I don't need to.
A lot of the people too, though, that you get in your films,
like Laureen Landon. I mean, how you got her? I don't know. She's a very busy actress. You must have really begged hard to get my Laureen. And she's she's so gorgeous.
She's
oh
so
my
phenomenal.
God, is she beautiful? Oh, that face! I look at it
You
for
wait
hours.
till you see her in Agramon's Gate, though, because all that beauty she plays a psychotic mother that essentially blamed her son for being the demon who possessed her husband. She's still beautiful. It doesn't matter what you do.
She's an actress. She's an actress.
Well, watch her. She is amazingly breathtaking in this movie.
I love her.
I
know
also
she,
have to say,
she talked to me about this film.
you also have a very good. You must have a very good rapport with everybody that you work with, because like nobody. I like to Google people. It's just something that I do, and like there's not a bad word written about Harley Wallen on the internet anywhere, and. Like
he's quality.
Nobody says anything. There's not like bad things about your films. There's not bad moods like, oh my gosh, he's a dick. There's nothing bad about you.
Yes,
and anything
there's something very bad about his films. There's something about his films.
They don't have you in them.
That's it. You took the line out of my mouth. He took the fucking line. He does that. He steps.
I also have to say, no,
he steps on my lines all the time.
No,
I was going to say.
No, another good show of that, you guys, and for the world listening, who everybody should be watching, Betrayed. It's really a lot of fun. But when Harley did his movie premiere, his red carpet premiere of Betrayed, it was a fabulous event, and a lot of people who are stars in his.
By the way.
We had a blast.
We go to your shit all the time. Are you kidding?
But a lot of the people who were there to support you were not even in that film, and you had Scout Taylor Compton, and you had
Tara Reid,
and Jake Busey.
Adams.
Yeah, you had like all the Dennis Haskins,
Jeff Busey was there. Everybody.
All those people that aren't even in your films, came to support you, and that shows a lot, for an independent filmmaker to get that kind of talent, to come out and support just a screening of a film.
Well, they're not stupid. Neither am I. We go there, kiss his ass a little, maybe we get a movie. So, what do you think? This is a whore business. We're all whores. We're all whores looking.
We got two more premieres coming up I think in September, and I'm hoping that we can kick off a theatrical run with at least one of them.
There you go. I hope so too. We love that.
What films are they?
You're going to be invited
and we're going to be there.
We'll be there.
What films are they? Can we use the title? That's another thing.
It is Agramon's Gate and the bands. We're currently editing a Bennett Song Holiday, and I'm telling you that film could be the best thing we ever did. It's the Corbin Burnson was. I mean, the only one I would put up against him in straight up acting chops is Tom Sizemore. Just electric on screen. I mean, Corbin is special. I've liked him in a lot of things that he's done, but to direct him and to see him.
He happens to be a fabulous person. We love him.
Actually,
he is so nice. He's a friend of ours.
I just actually wrote there's a book getting ready to come out. It's called Success Factor X, and it's really famous people writing chapters about their idea of success. And I was asked to write the foreword to the book, and Corbin Burnson is one of the people who writes one of the chapters in it.
Oh, cool!
It's coming out.
He's amazing, electric.
And we actually
Sizemore is a regular Joe.
Yeah, we actually met Sizemore at an Oscar party last week.
Working with him has to be an absolute. A smooth ride working with him because he's a Joe. He's a good guy. He's not one of these temperamental, neurotic, wacko actors like Jimmy.
Yeah, like. So you've got Agramon's Gate and bands. Hopefully, going to have some big releases coming out. You got a Bennett Song, Bennett Song Holiday is the follow up to Bennett Song, and Bennett Song did really well, right?
Yeah, it has done really well. I think the funny thing with Bennett Song is it's just been humming along. And it keeps selling. We just sold to China, Australia, like big markets. And I was on an interview tour over the phone and Skype, and I was surprised at how many people wanted to hear about the movie in Australia. But I guess Bennett Song is kind of a big thing there.
I love it though. I love the fact that you're doing your own thing. That you're an indie filmmaker and you do everything. You're casting, you're acting, you're directing, you're writing, and you're having such great success with it. And I, number one, give you props for that because I think it's like amazing. And number two,
I have really good partners though. So Nancy Oswine is actually the writer of Bennett Song and Bennett Song Holiday. She wrote both of those and actually produced both of those. So she's been my right-hand man on my films and on the Bennett Song films. And then I have my wife, who's an associate producer. She does all the product placement. She gets most of the clothing and designers and stuff that we have, dressing people. And Annette, who binds it all together. And Nick, who finances and goes out and knocks on doors for finances. We have a really, really great team. It's not like I'm doing everything. I am doing the stuff that you get. I'm the face of the organization of us, but I have a really, really nice team.
That's great that you actually said that too.
You birthed the baby, and they care for it.
Yes.
Because I know it's your baby. Every movie you make is your baby, and you love it, and you're into it. You're into every aspect of it. These people that work with you make it polished and perfect. But if they didn't have you as the birth mother, they wouldn't have work. Period. So you're giving them credit, but they have to give credit back to you too. Also, you're all equal. You're a good team. You do good film. You do
well,
good
and it's
films.
good to put. I mean, you put together something that's actually works. You know, because
and you were so intelligent enough to hire Lorene Landon because she's probably
trust me, I will do that again.
She's probably one of the most fabulous actresses out there today. I mean, Churchill's got her playing opposite what's his face, like I said,
Dern.
where she's supposedly getting awards. She plays a drunken, horrible woman who's, and it's, if you know Lorene, it's opposite her personality. I mean, she's a dove and a charm. She's a sweet little calm dove. And in this film, she's a raving fucking lunatic, screaming and yelling and angry. I heard her performance is fabulous. They're premiering this movie in Florida. I said, what the fuck are you doing with it in Florida? Yeah.
It's coming here too.
I said, when are you going to do an LA screening?
They're doing a cast and crew screening in Florida because a lot of it was shot in Florida.
Florida.
And that's where the stars live.
Please, screw Florida.
But they're going to do a big one. We'll invite you once we get
you
get
have
the
to
details
come
for the one here.
Yeah, you come because
get together with Churchill when I was in LA last month, and it was my schedule was like I felt like my brain melted. I was there for 9 days, and I had like 3-4 meetings every day.
Yeah,
and Churchill was busy last month. Also.
Actually, you and Churchill are very similar, though. You guys are very similar in what you do. You both, write and direct and act, and I think you're both.
Yeah.
No, but Churchill,
I like Churchill.
He also does films that are not shitty. Churchill's films are like 5 steps up from the crap that we see. These two.
We go to a lot of lot of premieres, and a lot of them you would just not believe.
Harley.
We can't mention what they are.
I can't give you the names. Harley. Trust me, baby. Some of them look like an 8-year-old with a home camera took a movie. I mean, the acting, they read lines, the directing, they don't know where their marks are. They're looking. I mean, I see so many mistakes in these crappy movies. I say, how the fuck did they call this a movie? It's an experiment.
He's always surprised of how they get money because we know we're working on a lot of different projects that are having trouble getting money that are actually really good. And then you see these films that are so terrible, and they get financed.
And I'm happy to say that I'm in 3 of Churchill's films, and I cannot wait to go to work. We go to work in a couple of weeks on. I'm not allowed to mention.
No, you're not allowed to mention.
What is that? Harley, wait a minute, please. Help me out here. Years ago, pre-publicity is what sold the film and got the financing. Why is it today we're not allowed to mention the title? I still don't get it.
That I don't know. I'll tell you this. Only one of our films so far that have made it out has kept the title that I gave it and birthed it. The distributor has done their little thing, and by the end of it, they have a new title. So that could be a reason, but I don't understand that. For instance,
the film
out is Into a Dark Mind. That one is now called Abstruse, and I don't understand it because we won probably 20 Best Film Awards under the name Into a Dark Mind. And then the distributor says, no, we need a stronger one-word punching title. And they changed it, and now it's Abstruse.
I don't even know what abstruse means, though. I'd have to look it up.
I know what it means.
Yeah.
But I think that distributors should mind their own fucking business and stay out of the movie business, okay?
But they are in the movie business.
No. They should only be their job is to distribute the film, not to say who's in it and who should be in it.
They're putting up the money. They
I
gotta
don't give a shit. You know how many good actors have been kicked out of a film because the distributors didn't think that their IMDb was low enough,
or they didn't have enough Twitter followers, or they don't have enough Instagram.
Usually that's not the distributor, though. I mean, to some extent, maybe, but I think that's the casting companies, and I think it's it's probably on advice from the distributor. Yes.
I mean, mind your business. Distribute the film and stay out of the directing.
But if they don't have people that they want in the film,
you know what? Listen to me. Meryl Streep once was nobody. She played a 2-scene.
That doesn't matter.
Wait, she played a 2-sentence scene. And look who Meryl Streep is today.
Okay, but let's say...
So distributors don't know.
Let's say it was you.
Excuse me. if somebody won an Academy Award and had one line in a movie, the distributor should know that there's a possibility that this actor is going to bring to the film something great to make it better than what it is. You can't judge an actor by the IMDb score.
Well, that's what everybody does. So what happens? Let's say it's your money, and you put up $1 million to make an independent film, and they cast whoever they want, and you look at it and you're like, I never even heard of a single person in here.
No, I wouldn't do that. I would look at their work. And after seeing 3 pieces of their work, I would know if they're full of shit. If they can act.
Everybody else wants to see a movie because somebody famous is in it.
Well,
You're different.
That's nonsense.
The sad part is, we talked about this the other day. We said, if you could cast, Kim Kardashian or somebody like that, Paris Hilton or somebody in your movie, somebody posed a question to me, would you?
No.
And that was really hard because, unfortunately, my answer to that would be yes. And I know that's a bit of a sellout, but at the same time, I have to gain the audience at some point, the mass audience. And
you're wrong.
You can get the mass audience.
No, he's right.
No, he's wrong.
Bring them in, and then you can keep them for your artistical endeavors. So if you ever have the opportunity, I think, obviously you need to try to cast as well as you can around them, and you need to make sure that you do your best with rehearsals and tape reads and everything else. But I think you'd be crazy not to turn down an opportunity to go mainstream when you're an indie filmmaker. Because as successful as Betrayed has been, we've sold to 11 countries in Europe, a couple of African countries, and elsewhere around the world. But that film, if you would have exchanged a couple of names in that film to major stars, or insta-famous people, that movie would have been in theaters
for a long
extended run.
Wait a second.
Yes, you're right.
This could work against you, because if you put that Kim Kardashian trick in a movie, I would go see how terrible she was in it. I'd say, what a shitty movie. Kim Kardashian was awful. She annoyed me through the whole film. I'll never go see a Harley film again.
But you're not like normal people.
All of my investors would be paid back and double.
I know that, but your name would not be the name it is now, because now you've got good actors in your films. Kardashian can't even
you're not
speak.
letting him.
I agree, but at the end of the day, my name right now, most people don't know. If Kim Kardashian was in my movie, then everybody would know it.
Harley, shut the fuck up. Your name, when mentioned, has such a respect for talent and good quality that you must you must never lose that by trashing out with garbage, like somebody's son's an actor, famous movie star's son's an actor, and he can't act. Don't ever do that. Stay who you are. Your quality.
I've turned down people that have offered me to finance a whole movie, and they say, put my wife as the main role. And I said no many times.
Yeah, good. Keep it that way. Because
saying, if you have the opportunity to get somebody that could potentially be something that could get you to an audience.
Harley,
we only got 2 minutes.
Shut up. Harley, you're there already.
Now you have 2 minutes.
You're respected, and you can't buy respect.
If you had Kylie Jenner in a movie, you would get financed in 30 seconds.
Yes.
They'd give you millions of dollars.
But can the person act?
Who cares? Her fans don't care. Her fans don't care if she can.
Have we become that kind of an audience?
But
we lost taste?
That film, I have the money to self-finance and do what I really want to do.
Yeah, and people
over.
I'd do it once.
And people in the business.
I'd do it once.
People in the business are going to say, oh, yeah, Harley's a whore like the rest of them.
No, they won't.
He's a whore. He sold out for money. I say the way you are. Your quality, you're respected.
Well,
you're going to go bigger than those other douchebags.
If you get Kylie Jenner in, I mean, she's the most popular person on planet Earth. So if you got her, who cares?
What do you mean, who cares?
She's got 100 million.
It's a movie.
She has 100 million followers. If 100 million people buy the film, he's rich as fuck. He can retire. He never has to work again a day in his life if he doesn't want to.
Or I can make 20 more films exactly the way I want to make them.
Yes.
Well, if I were in your position, I would never sell out, because
anyway,
I'm from the old school where we want the work. You know, actors of Jane
We gotta
Russell.
go, we gotta go.
Jane Russell was my best friend, and I said to her, "What made you be a star?" She said, "I don't know. I turned the corner and I was there, but I liked the work." And she didn't give a shit about being a famous movie star. She
I know,
just
that's a
liked the
different
work.
time. That's a different
I know
time.
that, but that's the time when the love went into the film. When the
You still see his love in the film.
Yes, because he didn't douche. He put Lorene Landon in, a fabulous movie star.
There you go. Hold on, you guys, because we got to go. We only have a minute.
Harley,
so you guys,
we gotta see
this
you.
is Harley the Swede. You guys follow him on Twitter, HarleyTheswede. Do you have a website for your company to look up all this stuff or no?
Painted Creek Productions is on Facebook. We don't have a website yet. That's in the works.
Okay, so follow Harley on Twitter for all his updates, you guys. Harley, thank you so much for coming on the show. We love you.
And Harley, we have to have lunch or dinner so we could continue this fight.
There you go. And,
I mean,
say hello to,
seriously.
send love to your wife. We
Yeah,
love
I
her.
will.
Bye.
Bye-bye,
Thanks.
Harley.
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you.
Bye.
Take care.
Hey, everybody in the
And
chat
Lorene
room.
Landon is the best. Nobody is finer.
Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.
Next
Enjoy
week,
your
folks.
weekend, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.